Hi guys, time for another pick-a-card reading. The topic for this reading is going to be what are the hidden thoughts and secret feelings of the person on your mind towards you. There are three groups to choose from. Group 1 is the Mahogany Obsidian. Group 2 is the Hematite. And group 3 is the Amethyst. There are timestamps in the description box of the video if you want to jump ahead, and I will see everyone in a minute for group 1. Hi group 1. You chose the Mahogany Obsidian. So let's get right into it and see what are the hidden thoughts and secret feelings of the person on your mind towards you at this time. Okay, we've got enchanting gifts, happy, and to the sea. It feels like this person really loves your laugh. They love your smile. You are joy incarnate. You are somebody that adds a lot of beautiful energy to rooms, environments that you enter into, conversation with you. It feels like always leaves this person feeling uplifted, and they've noticed that you have a very positive impact upon others as well. I'm hearing the gift of gab with this enchanting gifts card, so it feels like it's something that you know the right things to say. It's not like you sugarcoat everything and just are like, toxic positivity all the way. It's like you're able to deliver maybe like harsh truths. You're able to speak your mind in a way that is fair, in a way that kind of like helps people to sort of see things from a different perspective. You're also somebody that gives really good advice to others. Maybe you've given this person advice, or they've watched you kind of like be there for other people in their time of trouble, maybe even instinctually kind of just sensing when somebody is having like not a good day or they got a lot on their mind, in ways in which you kind of just like stepped up and volunteered to be that sort of light in the darkness, the shoulder to cry on, just somebody with compassion, somebody that has like a kind word or even a smile to give to somebody. It feels like this is something that kind of speaks to your very generous nature, which is a big turn on for this person. This is somebody who also sees that even if you have kind of like a tough shell, like a tough exterior, they're able to see like a softer side of you kind of peek through all of that. There's a lot of intrigue as far as like, I wonder who you are when you are around somebody that makes you really comfortable. I wonder who you are when kind of the cameras stop rolling. So maybe for some of you, you could do things on social media. It could be like an influencer, or somebody, this person could like see a lot of the things that you post online, pictures and whatever else. And there's a sense of like all of that is very pleasing. All of that is something that, is very intriguing. But there's also the sense of like, who are you behind closed doors? Who are you when you don't have to kind of like perform? Because there's a sense that they see that this kind of like energy of this hard exterior, like a shell in some sort of way. They almost feel that you're somebody maybe that is the kind of person, like if you've ever heard like some people have people that they go to, and other people it's like that's the person that others go to. Like this person sees that you are probably one of those people that a lot of people come to you in their hour of need. They come to you with their problems. You're like, the strong one out of the group, or maybe you're somebody that, you're just very like good in periods of kind of like crisis or stress or turmoil. You're somebody that like naturally kind of gives off this very sort of like healing or sheltering aura. And so there's a sense of almost like a hidden side, like a softer side, a vulnerable side to you that this person, it feels like, is very curious about. What would it take to kind of like get you to let your guard down? Who are the people that you lean upon? And even this person could even be thinking, do you have anyone to lean upon? Is there anyone that's there for you? Because you seem to be there for a lot of people. So let's see what else their hidden thoughts and secret feelings are about you right now. Okay, we've got abundance, happiness, and power. Yeah, so this is great. This happiness card sitting right on top of happy, happy. Your joy is contagious. Your laughter helps to kind of like melt the hardest hearts. Just this energy of something about you that this person sees, that it's like somebody with this level of kind of positivity or joy, like the way that you carry it. There's nothing that is kind of like fake it till you make it. There's nothing that speaks to like a naive energy. There's a sense of almost like you must have had to kind of like go through a lot of darkness in order to sort of shine your light this brightly, which again, with this energy of like power here and kind of these storm clouds, it indicates that this person again is very curious, like, do you have anyone that is like a safe space for you? Do you have anybody that you can kind of like lean on in a non-judgmental way, who uplifts you? Because you seem to be a very kind of like bright light or a source of joy in the lives of others, which they almost like, they find it very commendable that you seem to kind of derive pleasure from that, but they also maybe sense that this is something that you could potentially attract a lot of people in, that just sort of, they kind of offload their trauma or their wounding, and that there's maybe not a lot of reciprocity as far as that's concerned. It's like this person feels like they've met people like you before. You might remind them of somebody that they used to know, or somebody that's in their life that it kind of like embodies this sort of almost like a healer or like a helper role. And so there is this kind of like compulsion on this person's part to, as far as like the experience with them is concerned, to try and kind of like show you affection, show you appreciation. It feels like this person is sort of like, their thoughts at this time are very mindful about kind of like not just being one of those people, maybe like everyone else or like a lot of other people that you meet, that would kind of like take you for granted, or would sort of even just subconsciously kind of pick up on that sort of light within you, and might kind of offload a lot of that kind of trauma or wounding in some kind of way. It's almost like this person recognizes that you've encouraged them to become more mindful. This is definitely somebody that the thoughts at this particular point in time is kind of like, if they are in a bad mood, or they got a lot of stress, a lot on their mind, this is somebody that wants to almost kind of like protect you from some of that, because they've kind of taken notice of, maybe this is in your interactions with one another so far, or what they've seen happen with like other people in various ways. People that are in kind of like low moods, low vibration, it's like you don't intrude and sort of like, here, let me raise your spirits, let me kind of get you to focus on the light in some sort of way. But there is something that it's almost like a reflex or a mechanism within. You're the one that kind of like rushes to the scene. You're the person that is kind of like holding that space, even as other people kind of navigate their way through their own kind of like darkness or dense energies. And so it's caused this person this sort of feeling of like, I don't want to be one of those people that kind of like the primary function of the interactions between the two of us becomes this space where like you're always having to lift me up. Or if you have kind of operated in that sense for this person, like they're thinking a lot of reciprocity. How can I do that for you as well? How can I kind of like fulfill certain needs within that might go overlooked by other people, or things that are almost kind of like an aspect within them to maybe kind of highlight or illuminate or show appreciation for you in some kind of way, in the way that you might almost be like an unsung hero in this capacity. You could just be like an ordinary person, and yet you serve as a role of like a hero in the lives of others without even knowing it, like in little ways, just in terms of like, it might not be these big dramatic kind of like actions that you take, but it's that listening ear, it's that bright light that this person has like witnessed firsthand. It feels like they've experienced firsthand, that people kind of gravitate towards that. You raise the frequency of the energies that you're dealing with, the people that you're dealing with, even if it's just for a moment. Even if it's just like in your presence for just a moment, people have an opportunity to not kind of like focus on whatever weighs them down, their troubles, the weight of the world on their shoulders, and that makes all the difference. This person has like seen that about you. And so maybe this is something that they've kind of noticed as well, that it sort of takes something from you, or it's almost like, you're kind of absorbing a lot of these energies from other people, or environments without even meaning to, but yet you leave people and places sort of better than you found them. And so this is something where it's causing this person at this point in time to definitely sort of look within and to really be, it's almost like they want to kind of like be accountable for not always having to show up in like a good mood or positive, but definitely at the times where it's like you are being that kind of like beacon of happiness, that joy incarnate, that light at the end of the tunnel for this person. It's almost like they're taking note of these things and sort of like, I need to find ways to show up for you. I need to find ways in order to, you know, pour back into your cup. Because just even like sitting silently in your presence in the same room, beholding you, witnessing you in some sort of way, it affects people. It's like you are that beacon to kind of like a softer, easier, more kind of like pure vibration. And this person really admires that. They feel very grateful that they've encountered you. Like they see you as a very genuine person, like a genuinely nice or a genuinely good person. And you're not out here like virtue signaling any of that. You're very humble. And this person almost kind of like feels you should have reason to kind of like celebrate yourself. Because again, they almost see that this level of kind of like optimism or joy or positivity, that you obviously like worked through things, you worked very hard, or you know that you carry this kind of like corresponding level of like shadow inside of yourself. Like lights this bright don't shine that brightly if there isn't that kind of like backdrop or that comparison of darkness within. And yet for as bright as your light shines, it's like you didn't let that darkness engulf you. And so it's causing this person to have like a deep appreciation for that. Like you're a rare individual, because it's not just kind of like, oh, it's so easy for you to kind of operate at that frequency. This person just, they're very curious about sort of like, what does that take like for you to kind of decompress from the weight of your own sort of troubles? What does that take for you to have to, kind of like cleanse your energy or purge out the experience of like when you've been there with people, for people in times of kind of like density or difficulty? What does that take for you to create equilibrium for yourself? And kind of like, how can I make sure that I'm not contributing to that weight, but I'm like the person that either sort of is with you as you're creating that balance, or the type of person that understands, or at least tries to kind of like open my mind to sort of the process of whatever that takes for you to kind of like self-regulate, to take on not just your own kind of like darkness and sort of manage that, but the darkness within other people. You could definitely be the kind of person where it's like strangers open up to you and they're just sort of like trauma dumping. You give off a very kind of like safe, like a safe energy. Like people almost look to you. You might be like a healer or definitely an empath. And so that's something that it feels like this person is kind of like secretly sort of looking at that, sort of like, what is this about you? How would this best be defined? It's a rare quality. Like you're a valuable person, not just in their life, but it feels like in the lives of like many that you touch, all that you encounter, even people that are incredibly triggered by this energy, because it feels like this person has also seen people that are just on site, like very triggered by you, very triggered by your light. And this is something that, again, it's definitely intrigued this person. There's a curiosity. They may even be, if you've mentioned to this person you're an empath, they may be looking into that as well. And it's kind of like they're secretly sort of like keeping that awareness or like expanding their understanding of it, in terms of their interactions with you, hoping that they can find some kind of way to kind of adjust their approach to you or the ways that they interact with you, to compensate for that, to not be just one of those people that kind of is like on instinct, just kind of dumping all of that sort of heavy energy, but that there's a way in which they can, raise their own frequency, raise their own efforts, or at least be a little mindful or conscientious about sort of like what they bring into your life, kind of the vibe that they bring to the table, ways in which they may, even be exploring for the first time how to kind of self-regulate, or, how to kind of like deal with their own sort of energetic balance. And it's inspired by not wanting to kind of like create chaos for you, not wanting to be like a problematic person in your life, or somebody that, just kind of like takes you for granted in some kind of way. Like this person almost feels like others take you for granted, and they don't want to be one of those people. They want to be somebody that appreciates you, that celebrates you, that sees you as this kind of like, not just a rare treasure or gift in their life, but, in kind of like you're a gift to communities that you're in, shared spaces that you're in, even people that get triggered by you. It's kind of like that is necessary in some kind of way. So you've definitely activated this kind of like energy within this person, where there's kind of an urge to deeply appreciate you and to show you kind of a softer experience, not just of love, but of like interaction with another human being. So let's get some messages from this person's higher self and see what they want you to know. Okay, and we have, I just need more time. Okay, so it feels like, yeah, this person is kind of like learning you. You may be the first like empath that they've ever dated or had romantic interest in. They're taking note of just kind of like your energy and your presence, and, how that affects kind of people around you, and sort of trying to find their place within that, so that it doesn't kind of take away from the nature of what they almost see as kind of, your purpose, maybe, to be this kind of like healing light in the lives of others, or even so that it's like they don't kind of like dim your shine in any way. We also have my nerves get the best of me sometimes. Yeah, so it feels like there have been occasions where they've been like, is this too good to be true? Like, is this genuine? Like, you've triggered this person. And you may be aware of that based on kind of like hot and cold behavior at a certain point in time. Like, there was almost a part of them that was sort of like, nobody's this nice, nobody's this good, nobody's this real, nobody's this genuine, or at least nobody they had met before. Like, everything has a catch, everybody's got an agenda, and this is something that it feels like they had to kind of sit with that. They sort of like took a step back and watched from a distance. They watched how you operate, kind of when you assume nobody's looking, and it's kind of like you don't have this performative kindness. You don't sort of like extend this very like light energy to others with the hope of getting something back. This person has taken time now to really see and understand that that's just like who you are as a person. And again, it might be something where that attracts a lot of people that just kind of like see you as sort of this healing space, this safe space. They're telling you all their troubles. They're kind of offloading a lot of this dense or heavy energy. You're sponging that in some kind of way. And this person sort of sees that this is something that, you have this power, but you don't kind of like wield it irresponsibly. Or it's the kind of thing where it's sort of like they're understanding that, or feeling that you almost kind of like need somebody that is going to at least be aware of that, mindful of that, appreciate that aspect about you, and celebrate that, rather than kind of just utilize that as sort of a place to kind of offload heavy energies. We also have, I am afraid to trust. So yeah, this person, it feels like at a certain point in time was kind of very like intimidated by your energy, very like, is this too good to be true? Or is this just kind of like a manipulation tactic? Is this just a ploy? But they definitely have like worked through that, or are working through that, and they've come to understand that like, no, you're the real deal. This is like really who you are. This is really your disposition. This is really your temperament. They've taken the time to kind of like look at that from a different angle, not just from the surface, but kind of like, okay, you've got all this light about you. Certainly there is like a corresponding level of darkness that doesn't, you have that kind of like reined in to the point that it allows that light to shine bright. You're able to shine like, a star in the night sky, because of the fact that in some way, shape, or form, you've gotten a handle on kind of like, things in your life that might be part of your shadow, experiences that you've had in the past, aspects of your personality, or even just kind of this element of always being the one that others come to in their hour of need, or kind of like offload all that dense, heavy energy to. And maybe you don't have a whole lot of people in your life that kind of are that for you. You're that person that other people have, rather than the one that has a lot of people that can kind of be that for you. And so it feels like this person is working through some kind of fears, a fear as well of kind of like, because it feels like they don't want to sort of add to your troubles. They don't want to add to kind of the chaos or heavy energy. And so they're trying to kind of like encourage themselves to trust that this is a connection, that it's like, it's safe to be themselves with you. It won't be too much. It won't be too little, that it'll be just right. So let's get some initials. This could be a first, middle, or last name, or it could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got I, Y, Q, S, A, I, H, A, Z, and B. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, group 2. You chose the Hematite. So let's see, what are the hidden thoughts and secret feelings of the person on your mind towards you at this time? Okay, we've got round and round, poised, and chaos and conflict. Okay, so these energies are giving me kind of the vibe of like a past person, somebody that you might have cut off, or somebody that like ran or ghosted. This person definitely still keeps tabs on you, hence the fact they're showing up in this like current, you know, hidden thoughts and feelings reading. And this is somebody who sees that you have become so radiant after all the shit that they put you through. Your healing journey, whatever has been necessary in order for you to kind of like close the door, detach, move on, grieve sort of the loss of the potential of the situation between the two of you in the past. You know, maybe you held a lot of space for this person, you waited until it just wasn't like reasonable to wait anymore. You might have given them extra time, like a grace period. You know, you did the most as far as like holding space for this individual to change, to up level, you know, to do right by you in this situation. And maybe they put you through a lot, where it's taken a very long time for you to sort of, you know, make peace with that, or to kind of allow yourself or force yourself to move forward so that you can, you know, live your life to the fullest. You can still enjoy kind of, you know, your time here and invite love into your life, even if it was like not with this person from the past. And so this is definitely somebody that it's kind of like they're keeping tabs on you, and the hidden thought, the secret thought with that is kind of like, I hope that you notice that. I hope that you know that I'm kind of like still aware of you. I'm still watching. And this is not because they want to bring in like chaos or, you know, sort of lead you astray, lead you on, but there's almost the sense of like this person is at a standstill. They recognize that you have had to go through a lot. You've become an entirely different person in many ways than they remember. And this is somebody that feels like in order to be able to kind of like come back into your life in any way, shape, or form, it would require them to go through like a similar process, or even like a fast-tracked process of clearing out emotional debris and clutter that had interfered with this situation in the past, you know, to kind of like shed a version of themselves that it feels like would have run in the face of whatever it is you had to offer. This is somebody that would want you to know like what you had to offer was good enough. It's like they are now at a place where they're like, they were not worthy of what you had to give. There was never anything wrong with you. There was never anything lacking about you, even though they might have made you feel that way. And so it feels like this is somebody that at least has come to that level of awareness since you've parted ways. This is a conclusion that they've kind of come to. It feels like they've been watching for a while. That would be the other kind of like hidden thought, would be sort of like, I hope that there is some level of awareness within you that you know that I keep tabs on you. You know that I've been observing you for a while. Again, not as something that is meant to kind of like derail you from where you are. It feels like this person is sort of like, they wish you all the success in life, but there is a part of them that is almost like they can't detach from you in this situation. There's a part of them that almost feels like maybe it's kind of like they need to lose you, or like lose you forever to another person, or be right on that brink of losing you in order to kind of like kickstart their own sort of progression forward. But they like don't, they feel that they're not worthy to approach you at this time, because in many ways they've kind of shed a level of almost projection that had been the case in the past. But they also see there's a lot of work that they still need to do, where they might have made you feel unworthy, but kind of like the hidden feeling is that they were the one who was unworthy back then. And compared to who you've become now, which it feels like is very inspiring for this person, it's like a bittersweet energy. Like this person really feels like they might have missed out on their chance with you in this lifetime, and it's been kind of like a rude awakening. But there's also a part of them that kind of like observes. Little by little, they sort of like shed some of these fears. Little by little, they start to kind of like work on things, work up the courage to maybe come out of this place of sort of like hoping that you know that they are observing. Maybe this person like posts things on their social media, if you look at this person's social media, to try to kind of like get your attention. Not to loop you back into some kind of cycle with them, but just something that lets you know, like, I'm here. It's somebody that is like sorry that they couldn't do right by you in the past, because now they in some sort of way like see what they put you through, or they see who you've become, which helps to give context. It helps them to look back, and something that might have just been like, where they're like, I don't know why that was such a big deal. It's kind of like what you had to go through to become this version of you. It's starting to sort of dawn on them, kind of like, oh, wow, I really put this person through a lot. So let's get a little bit more and see what else their hidden thoughts and secret feelings are about you right now. Okay, we've got wonders, going forward, and openness. Yeah, so this person is like scared that you would not be open to hearing from them. They're scared that if they reached out to you, that in some sort of way it would unravel a lot of the progress that you had made. This person, it feels like secretly it's kind of like they want to try to sort of create a new cycle with you, but then there's also kind of this fear that they're not up to the challenge in some sort of way. And this isn't somebody who's afraid that you would like break their heart, or, you know, that you'd reject them or anything like that. But it's almost kind of the sense of like being afraid that your heart is not in safekeeping with them. Like this is somebody that is kind of, again, it's becoming very clear to this person, very crystal clear, that a lot of what happened in the past between the two of you, like they are the one that kind of created this rift. They are the one that kind of bears the burden of the responsibility of sort of what they put you through, what the lengths you needed to go to in order to become this version of you. But it's also made it very kind of like clear to this person that it takes more than an I'm sorry. And there's almost a level within them that is kind of feeling like if they were able to reach out and try to like start fresh with you, that they'd be saying sorry in different ways for lifetimes to come. And it feels like that is something that kind of just, at times, it sort of like stops them in their tracks. That might make them very kind of like hesitant to approach as well. Kind of like the most that they can do is sort of just make their presence known in subtle ways. This might even be something where this person kind of like has like burner accounts or like fake profiles or something on social media, and they like comment on things that you post, or there's activity from them, like they like things, but it almost feels like it's something that is not very disguised, it's not very veiled. Like they want you to know that that's them, not in a way to kind of like upset you, make you feel uncomfortable or weird, but just kind of the sense of like, I'm here. But it's not even kind of like, I'm here and I'll never leave you alone, or I'm here, this is as far as I'm choosing to go, and I'm just going to always kind of keep your attention focused on me so you can't move forward. But there's almost a sense of like, I'm here, like I've made it this far. And this is somebody that like, they hope that you have success. They hope that you have like a beautiful life. They feel that you've kind of like, you've picked yourself up out of wreckage that they created, and whatever else is going on in your life when they were in it, or things that went on maybe after you parted ways, it's like you've come out the other side of that as like a stronger, more beautiful, more radiant person than you were when they remember you, or when they were interacting with you, when you had your experiences with one another, and they commend you for that. But this is also somebody, it feels like that there's kind of this secret wish that sort of like, maybe there will be an opportunity for us. Like I'm able to come this far where I hope that you know that I'm watching. I hope that you know that I'm right here. I hope that this constancy, or this level of presence in some sort of way, is a first step to making up for the ways in which you were let down or hurt by this person. And this is somebody, it feels like, that is hopeful, like it's a secret wish that they can continue to kind of like progress forward as a person, or even just work up the courage to like talk to you, to talk things out, to speak words that you've been waiting to hear for quite some time, or to have like an actual conversation. And if you reject them, you reject them. And if you're willing to hear them out, or even just like have them as a friend, it's like this person would be like grateful for any of that. But this is somebody who like, this is somebody who still feels very deeply for you. And that energy with this full moon here and openness, it's almost like those feelings scared them in the past. But now the idea of kind of just holding those feelings within, and not at least being able to kind of confirm for you that like, yeah, those feelings were real, even though they ran from them before, or to, you know, provide you that kind of like acknowledgement that they weren't able to do in the past, or that they backpedaled about in the past. There's almost kind of a sense of like, hoping that there'll be the opportunity for that, that they can create that for themselves, and that you'll allow it. That these feelings have kind of, they've almost like intensified. As much as this person tried to run from those feelings have intensified in some way. So let's get some messages from their higher self and see what they want you to know. Okay, we've got trust me. I miss you more than you know, and I won't let you go. So with this energy of trust me, it definitely feels like this person knows that trust obviously has been broken between the two of you in some sort of way, if it's like a no contact situation. This is somebody that understands that you may never fully trust them again, and it feels like that is very heartbreaking for this person. But they may be sort of like trying to kind of figure out a way to sort of like, they make their presence known, or they hope that you know that they are watching, that they are trying to approach, that they're present, at least kind of in this sort of peripheral way, almost half in, half out of the shadows, but that there's almost kind of like, this is a big step forward for them, and they don't kind of like plan on that sort of being all like as far as they come. It feels like this is somebody who definitely wants to kind of like approach and try to rebuild trust. And with that energy of, you know, I miss you more than you know, this is definitely somebody that time has not kind of like diminished their attraction to you. In fact, it's only enhanced it. This is not somebody that it's been like out of sight, out of mind. They don't feel anything. They've thought about you a lot. over the course of time where you've been separated from one another. This is somebody, it feels like, that has been on the brink of reaching out and speaking to you on multiple occasions, and then they've like stopped themselves, and it feels like the most that they've been able to do is kind of, again, like fake accounts, burner profiles, maybe one, maybe several, and it's kind of like, here, I'm here, that some sort of way that you would like recognize, or you'd know, or you'd acknowledge, hey, that's something, you know, that sounds like so and so, or, you know, the name of that account, that's something that only we would know, like, I think that's them, like something like that, that it feels like would be very like specific enough that your first thought would be like, hey, I think this is that person, and they created a fake account, burner account. And again, this is not something that is meant to kind of like oppress you in any sort of way, upset you in any sort of way, but this is somebody that is just kind of like, they're reaching for you at this particular point in time, where in the past they had kind of like pushed away from this, or run from this, or turned their back on this. And it's kind of like there's a thought, like a hope, that you see this as kind of like a first step, or a big step, or like effort towards kind of like, I want to talk, I want to speak. And this energy as well of, I won't let you go. So again, this is somebody, it feels like, that knows that they owe you an explanation, apology, maybe closure, or, you know, they're hopeful for like some kind of a fresh start. But this is something that knows they have a lot of explaining to do, or, you know, if you would hear them out, that it's kind of like, if you give them a chance, this is somebody that's almost like, if I had the opportunity, I would do everything different with you. You know, I would spend my life kind of being that sort of living amends for you in some kind of way. You know, this is somebody that would almost kind of have a vow, or set the intention of like, I would love you correctly if given that opportunity, not just in this lifetime, but in lifetimes to come. Like, they feel that seriously about this kind of like urge to sort of course correct, or fix whatever is broken in this situation between the two of you. So let's get some initials. This could be a first, middle, or last name, or could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got W, Z, L, O, G, H, S, M, M, E, U, and B. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 3. You chose the Amethyst. So let's see, what are the hidden thoughts and secret feelings of the person on your mind towards you at this time? Okay, we've got Thinker, Chop Wood, and Yang. So these energies I'm hearing, you're perfect for me. So it feels like this person is really attracted to your intensity, your radiance, your poise, the ways in which you are even kind of a little bit bratty at times. You know, you're spicy, you have your own mind, your own opinions, and you are not afraid to express those things out loud, no matter, you know, how that rubs people. If it rubs them the wrong way, or, you know, people are triggered, you're kind of just like, this is me, take it or leave it. The fact that you are not willing to kind of dilute yourself, you know, in order to kind of be more digestible to other people, the way that you march to the beat of your own drum, you live a very unique lifestyle, or, you know, you're kind of just not afraid to be that sort of like lone voice in the crowd. You know, this is something, it feels like that this person is starting to sort of like see life from a different perspective, based on kind of like things that they've observed of you, or they've learned from you. This is somebody that feels like to stand by your side would lead to a very empowered experience. It feels like this is somebody that is secretly hoping that they can kind of like meet your expectations as far as like a potential partnership or a deepening of a partnership where you don't feel that you are in any sort of way like you need to mute yourself down. This is somebody that kind of, maybe you'd mentioned things in your past, like past experiences, not necessarily with romance, but just things you've been through in your life of kind of like people that might have felt threatened by that intensity of that aura, that kind of level of personal magnetism within you. You might have been accused of being like bossy or dominant or pushy in some sort of way, bitchy even. And this is something that this person is kind of like, no, I don't see that about you at all. In fact, I find everything about you to be quite appealing. This is somebody that wants to kind of, they're thinking about sort of like, okay, what are some ways that I can be like a good supportive partner to this person, that I can encourage this person to kind of turn up the volume on how it is that they express themselves out. If you also have like a corresponding kind of quiet side to you that sort of, is the yin to your own yang of this more like empowered or dominant or kind of just what other people might have called like an aggressive personality, but this person sees it as just like ambitious, like you put yourself out there, you make your mark, you leave your mark on people, places, and things, and you're not concerned with kind of like who that sort of affects, and not in a way that is kind of like oblivious or thoughtless or careless, but it's kind of just like you have this fierce level of individuality that it feels like is very refreshing or inspiring to this person. But the other side of that, maybe this kind of quiet, contemplative energy, times where you're kind of just like, I need to just sit silently, I need to just like, introspect, whatever that kind of looks like. This person as well is kind of like thinking of ways that they can kind of like respond to you on that level as well. This is somebody that loves your kind of like contradictions. They see you as a paradox in some kind of way. Just when they feel like they figured you out, you come and you surprise them with this whole other like side of your personality. You're like a chameleon. There are like so many different sides of you, but all of those are very true and genuine. And so it feels like this is something that this person kind of like, the feeling is to continue to progress forward with you, is like you would make love or relationships or dating or even just life in general an adventure, which is something that it feels like really has this person kind of fired up. Like, yeah, this is the adventure I didn't know that I needed, that I was looking for, and yet here it is in my life. And so this is somebody that's very like excited to kind of embark on, wherever this sort of journey takes you. So let's see what else you need to know at this time about their hidden thoughts and secret feelings. Okay, we got flexibility, relaxation, and love. Yeah, so this person is like, they could see themselves falling in love with you. The idea of like being in a long-term relationship with you, it feels like it would be both like a big adventure, but they also are kind of thinking like, I feel like I could just kind of like settle into, a comfortable degree of sort of like, okay, spicy, and then also times where it's very tame, because you hold the best of both worlds inside of you, the spicy side, but also the sweet side. It's like you're very adaptable with this tiger here in flexibility. Again, like just when they think they have you figured out, you keep them on their toes, you keep surprising this person, and they're responding really well to it actually. This is somebody, it feels like that you've created this alertness within them, and they're sort of like questioning, what did I settle for in terms of relationships before, the kinds of people that they had been with before. You're very unlike anybody they've known or experienced in romance before, maybe even in life before. Like they've never met anybody like you, and that's something that it feels like is helping them to kind of like go with the flow of almost a level of like consistency and yet unpredictability as far as this connection's concerned. This is somebody who wants to kind of let things, it feels like, progress very organically. They want it to just kind of like grow wild in any direction. They feel that kind of like the more they learn about you, all these layers, it's just like there are all these different like gardens inside of you, with these different sort of landscapes that help them to kind of understand you as almost kind of like a mosaic of a person. Like there are so many different kind of like facets to you, that this is somebody, it feels like that their favorite side is that kind of outspoken side, that part of you that, you know, pushes back, the part of you that bites back, the part of you that is like, no, I'm not just going to be, you know, this docile little house cat. I'm a big cat and I will pounce. I got claws, I got teeth, you know, I got a roar that will terrify somebody, you know, if they kind of cross the path incorrectly. That this person has like seen that, you know, they've seen that side of you, or like suggestions of that. Maybe you've even kind of like talked about things you're very passionate about, and kind of the fierceness, the way your eyes light up, you know, the way your energy kind of just like warms up, becomes very intense. This is something that kind of like, it has this person mesmerized, or sort of like, yeah, if I had to go into battle, like you're the type of person I'd want by my side. But at the same point in time, this is somebody that's like, yeah, we can also cozy together and cuddle together, and you carry this very like beautiful balance. It feels like a fierceness and softness that is very, it's very outside of what this person has ever experienced before, in another person, and it's very different from what the first impression that they had of you was. So this is somebody, it feels like that the feelings are that they are just like, they want to get to know you more. There's a desire to kind of water this connection, tend to this connection, and just kind of like see how things develop. It feels like this person is also somebody that's very comfortable with you sort of like being bossy, giving orders, kind of like telling them what to do in this situation. And this is somebody that feels like that doesn't usually yield control. They themselves might be kind of like a boss energy, or they're very sort of like dominant, but when they're with you, it's almost kind of like, I trust you to take the lead, I trust you to kind of put your foot down and sort of keep me in check if that's necessary. I trust you to be the one to sort of soften, and then I respond to that and kind of be that more of like hard presence, with you. So it feels like this person, like their secret feelings at this time is like, yeah, this is an adventure in love. This is a different kind of experience of like falling in love or dating or romance than I thought was possible. And definitely whatever you've kind of revealed to this person in terms of that spicy side, that very kind of like outspoken side, they absolutely adore that about you. So let's get some messages from their higher self and see what they want you to know. I'm still moved by you. You hit me out of nowhere. And I thought about reaching out, but I don't know what to say. So it feels like with this energy of I'm still moved by you, and it's like everything they learn and discover about you, all these contradictions, like a living paradox, a living work of art, but like a mosaic of a person. Like there's just so many different facets about you. All of that is something which affects them on these like different and deep levels. You're the most fascinating person that they've ever met as well. This is somebody who's excited to like get to know more about you. It's almost like the life you've lived, or even the way you describe very mundane things. This person is just like, you are a great storyteller. You know how to really captivate your audience, or, you know, the things you lived through, the things you've experienced, goals, ambitions, dreams you have. They've never met anyone that had that kind of like level of initiative or ambitiousness. This is somebody, it feels like that even with this energy of like, you hit me out of nowhere, this is kind of like, yeah, whatever dreams or goals that you shared with this person, they're like, you will reach and exceed those dreams and goals just purely based on this kind of like fire within you. No one could say no to you. And if you did get pushback, you're the kind of person that's like, no, I'm just going to charge forth to that goal. I don't take no for an answer. And this person like loves that about you. You've definitely like activated this person to sort of like stand by your side. Like, yeah, where are we going? Where are we going in love? Where are we going in life? This is something that it feels like you definitely awakened this person. You've jolted this person out of kind of this energy of just sort of going with the flow of like, yeah, maybe I'll meet somebody, you know, maybe I'll date, and maybe I'll be single for a period of time. And all of a sudden it's like, whoa, okay, now here's somebody that I don't only have like this chemistry with, but it's like, you're a fascinating person, you're an amazing person. The effect you have upon me, or kind of like, you know, the effect you have on the world around you, this is something that, this is great, this is wonderful, this is beautiful. And this energy of, I thought about reaching out, but I don't know what to say. It feels like this person, again, is very like unusual for them, but it feels like they are very comfortable with kind of yielding control over to you in this situation. This is somebody, it feels like that the idea of kind of opening up, being vulnerable, maybe even for some like breaking down and crying in front of you, like they could see that happening, and it wouldn't be anything that would be like embarrassing. It would almost be like a sweet and tender moment. You know, this is the type of person that's almost kind of like during like love making, they could see themselves crying, and that's something that it's like that's never happened to this person before, but you would bring that out of them. You could hit that level within them. You bring out this like intensity, but also this part of them that is just kind of like, I could see myself being like the softest version of me in your presence, and all of that would kind of like be a very empowered experience. And so it feels like this person is just kind of like taking this all in at this point in time, like taking in the experience of you, and kind of almost sort of like they have to remind themselves like, yeah, this is really happening. This person is really real. You're really in the midst of this kind of like unique, very like activating sort of experience of love, or like a developing love connection. So let's get some initials. This could be a first, middle, or last name, or could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. We've got V, O, G, T, S, P, E, R, C, and M. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you'd like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.